Hello everyone, and this is my Right to Fight update video for 0.2.3. I'm incredibly late to this, as you guys can tell, and I thought that other YouTubers would have done a video on this by now, but I didn't really see any update videos that talked about everything. All people cared about was PvP. Whatever, today I'll be covering the newest update on Right to Fight, and Midnight Crystal made an update log conveniently for me to follow. So yeah, kudos to her. Let's start off the top with the Legendary Dragon. It has been reworked to make the Legendary Dragon to appear more as a player than as a regular NPC. It can now lose and gain heat the same way as we do, and now we can see its heat meter, so that means we can prepare more for attacks. The Legendary Dragon has been made easier to defeat now in some regards. You can go back into fighting after you die, and now it's easier to attain the badge than ever before. I haven't obtained it myself because I'm garbage at the game, but if you have a few friends, it's much easier to beat him now. However, he has been buffed in a few aspects. You can't use heat abilities anymore. The only way is through normal attacks, and he can do an ultimate heat action called Ultimate Essence, which is basically just a one-shot kill, whether if you're level 70 or not. I know that Legendary Dragon will still be further tweaked in future updates. This isn't going to be the final version of the Legendary Dragon. I know that Raw wants the Legendary Dragon to be a final boss, where even maxed out players can't defeat that on their own. They would need a team full of maxed out players and a lot of strategies to beat the Legendary Dragon. As the game progresses and the level cap gets higher, the Legendary Dragon will still be further tweaked to match his legendary status. Next, the dungeons. Now the dungeons will have a difficulty slider setting for easy, normal, or hard for all dungeons. Normal is basically what the dungeons were like before. The only difference is to easy and hard. Hard gives you 1.35 times the money than usual, albeit for more difficulty, but it's mostly worth it. Easy gives you 1/3 of the money which you usually get, which was actually less than I expected. The only difference is to the levels. You can see that I get level 75 usually on easy, but mostly level 70s in hard. I can also tell that the AI is way more aggressive in hard than they were on normal and easy. I felt there was no time to breathe when you play hard mode. You will constantly have to run away, and the enemies will not give you space. Legendary difficulty, which is the new mode that is locked behind the rebirth, is gonna be interesting. I'm actually keen on making a legendary difficulty dungeon series, as I had with the normal series. Comment down below if you want me to do a legendary dungeon series, because that is a hell of a lot of fun, and I want to do it. Next, it's PvP. If you go to the back of your spawn, you can see an alleyway leading over to PvP. In that is a whole different world with all players trying to challenge you into a fight. The starting elo when you start off is 400, and you lose elo when you lose and gain elo when you win. That's basically how it works. You can go through a matchmaking system which gives you an opponent, or you can manually challenge people who have similar elo to you. Your win ratio and kill death ratio also applies here. Crossplay means that you'll be challenging people that are on other devices as well. By default, if you play on PC, you're sorted to PC only, but enabling crossplay allows you to play with mobile and Xbox players. I recommend turning this off for people not playing on PC, because PC gives you a huge advantage in frame rates and coordination. It's just not fair. There's also a leaderboard for people with the highest elo, and as of writing this, Josh is a Lobster claims the top spot with 698 elo. So yeah, congrats to him. Although for me personally, PvP doesn't interest me. I know it's the most hyped out feature, it's literally on the title of the fucking game, but I know that PvP will get incredibly toxic. I can already tell from now. So sadly, I'm not gonna make much PvP content on this channel. What do you think about PvP? Next, I'm going to talk about some of the generic changes to abilities, some that are really interesting and some that don't really need an explanation at all. I'm just going to run over the more major ones. Essence of a Tango is a super cool new brute ability that makes you grab a person and fling him to 2 people nearby, as shown here. There is now a new use item button. Basically, you can bind V to a certain food, so whenever you press V, you eat the food immediately without going from the menu and all that. It's a quality of life change, and you don't have to turn blind for half a second whenever you want to eat. Just bind it to the best food you have in your inventory. Resolute Encounter is a new fisticuffs ability that allows you to keep punching while taking damage, ignoring hit stun. This is super useful actually for dealing with bosses, as you override their attacks, but not really useful in a group scenario. A red flame appears when Resolute Counter is in effect. Brute is now actually buffed considerably, with its attack damage and speed being increased. Brute's guarding also doesn't reduce your heat anymore. Coupled with the new ability, I think Brute is becoming my favorite class. There's been a few tweaks to the AI and blocking. There was barely any incentive to block before this. It was so much better to just get more hits in. Now blocking gets rid of the stun you get after you get hit, and AI can now evade. This means the bosses can now dodge your attacks, making them much harder to combo. You would have to be more careful when dealing with bosses now, as this buffs them to avoid your attacks. You're also now able to revive in dungeons. This improves team play a lot and would make playing with friends way easier to do. Guns are now buffed usually and are now more deadly. You take more damage to guns and AI is better with them. Moreover, you can move around with guns now, which was one of the biggest disadvantages about guns back in the day. Now the visual and audio changes. Starting from the top, there are now new auras and new effects for swords and blocks. The new auras are the most apparent and they definitely look so amazing. It looks so good and are such an upgrade to the old ones. Essence of Torment has now been given a new animation. There are now new standing animations for Fisticuffs and Brute when you log on. Here are the new animations. The AI now looks like an upgrade and has been given a new major overhaul to its predecessor. Everything from the menu, the settings, the inventory, and the abilities have been changed, which directs me to this nice fish. The only remnants of the old UI is from buying food at the shops, which has surprisingly remained untouched. Now the inventory tab displays the heat recovery and the health that you get. Back then there was a blue flame to indicate heat recovery and effect to determine health recovery. It was super confusing, the system sucked, and I am glad that they changed it. There are now a few new tabs in the new menu, like quests, equipments, and world map, which are still being developed and are unfinished and cannot be accessed just yet. For the map changes, there are now 3 new spots added to the map and a single train station, which I have been theorizing for some time now. If you go on top of Shutter Square, you can now use the bus station. This allows you to save time from transporting around the map and literally costs merely $150. I think this is going to expand to other areas in the future as well as more updates roll in, so I'm actually stoked to see what Rolf decides to do with this train system. Right below the train tracks is the bus terminal. There are a lot of enemies here and it's nice to see a lot of buses that don't move. Along the buses you can meet Brayden, who has a fetish for deserts for some reason. Deeper into the bus station you get a small parking garage that they mentioned. Going the other side of the bus terminal is the waterfront called the Baywalk. Overall this is a really nice addition and yeah, I'm stoked to see what happens next. So that was the end of the 0.2.3 update. That's literally all you need to know. It's good that the game is getting updates, but I have been working on a secret video behind the scenes for some time now that needs reworking because the game is updated and that the information in it is obsolete. I can't say what it is just yet, it'll ruin the surprise, but it's coming and it's a big one. A small price to pay, but I will pay for it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.